Okay, hi. So I found this activity on onestopenglish.com, and I noticed some positive, some positive things about it. I noticed some negative things. Some of the positive things I did notice about this activity was that it is communicative. We see the warmer here. It has a listening activity. It has, we scroll down here, way down, speaking activity. It also has back in here, it has an information gap. It has information gathering activities. Those are in the pages down further. Pair work is used through the whole thing. Let me see. It even starts by putting students in pairs. I believe the first activity that they actually have them do, is give students one page of the worksheet. So it's one page, actually it tells you up at the top, one page per pair. It actually puts them in groups at one point as well. So that's good, that's communicative. It builds on itself. It is fluency based. It focuses on speaking fluently. It's skills based in the fact that we see the listening, we see the writing and the speaking. I think, yeah, speaking. And then it does have a writing part later on. I think it has a follow-up. Or I think one of these, I think the listening, let me look. Yeah, it has a writing part. They want them to write. So those are all skills-based. The function-based part of this is the fact that it goes on to have them, it goes on to have them tell each other stories. It also has them solve problems, in the fact that they're having to solve this problem right here. The students will put pictures in the correct order. So that's good. The three negative things, though, that I found about this activity is, if I scroll up here to, down here on C, is its focus on form. So this lesson is about phrasal verbs, which is great. However, I feel that at this level, sorry, I just had a blank moment. Having them focus on intransitive and the type of verb. Hold on, let me find it. Yeah, okay. So here it is. So what they want you to do in this part is they want you to teach the students that these phrasal verbs are, which ones are intransitive, which ones are separable, and which ones are inseparable. I think it's good to point out that, for instance, let me scroll down to the sheet that they actually give. So this is the sheet that you actually get to give the students. And it gives you the story again, which we end up reading. But then it gives you this column right here that they want you to have the students fill out. It's great that they notice that there needs to be a pronoun right here. Picked them up, picked you up, picked me up, picked us up. That's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and point that out. Also, the fact that these are two separate words. The fact that this is one word and then this is another word. Okay, yeah, that's good. But I don't think that it has to be taught by this method, by pointing out that this is an intransitive verb and this is a separable one and this is an inseparable one. I feel like that's focusing too much on the form. It doesn't really fit with the task principle of a communicative activity, because I feel like it's not a meaningful task. It doesn't build on meaningful language. I feel like the students are never going to run around and say, oh, that's an intransitive verb to anyone, unless they're an English major or a linguistics major, or they're getting their ESL certification like we are. I don't feel like this is something that they need to be spending their time and their brain energy on. If I scroll up to procedure 4, just bear with me a second, I gotta find it. Procedure 4, hang on, let me think. Procedure 4. Oh, yeah, okay, I know where I'm at. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So in this part, they say to tell the students to listen to the story again and write down all the phrasal verbs they hear. So what you had just done is you had actually just read this story to them for the first time. And then they want you, just reading it the one time, they want you to read it to them again and tell them to write down all the phrasal verbs that they hear. Well, seeing that you're only reading this to them, I feel like they don't even know what to look for. I feel like they don't even know how to spell these words. They're just kind of, oh, here you go, write this down. I feel like this should be different in the fact that maybe, hold on, I'm losing my thought. Yeah, okay, so doing it as a class. So read them the story, but as a class have them point out, what the phrasal verbs are, or prompt them and say, okay, this is a phrasal verb, I'm going to write this down, or at least have a list already for them. But them never seeing these words before and expecting them to list them, I feel is just a little much, just too early. Procedure 7, it says it's wanting the students to tell their partner a story with the pictures. Yeah, put the students in pairs, tell them to turn over or cover up their worksheet using a list of phrasal verbs on the board. Students take turns with their partner using each phrasal verb from the story. So the worksheet that they're talking about is this. Okay, these are the pictures. So it shows people on an airplane, shows them in a car, they look a little frustrated in the back seat. And then it shows them, I guess, arriving at a hostel, or maybe they're leaving the hostel. These aren't in the correct order, by the way. That's the point. They have to put them in the correct order. So after they put them in the correct order, they want them to, they want the students to actually come up with the story, their own story. Even though they've heard it, they want them to pretty much reiterate the story, tell the story again. Now if we go up to procedure 9, so procedure 7 was that they tell their partner a story. Procedure 9 is the students, yeah, okay, so it's a fill-in-the-gap worksheet. And this is it right here, okay, is procedure 9. So they have to tell, so procedure 7, they have to tell the story using the pictures, and then procedure 9, they fill in the gap. I feel like these should be switched, because they would build on each other more effectively if the students used this with the phrasal verbs on the board to practice, and then they can go back and tell each other a story using the pictures. So how I would improve this activity, so like I've said throughout it, is I would completely leave out this part, the intransitive, separable, and inseparable verb part. Like I said, I would obviously point out, these things. There's a pronoun here, and these are two separate words and whatever, but I just don't want them to focus too much on what kind of a phrasal verb it is, or what kind of phrases they are. I feel like it's, yeah, what kind of, phrasal verb it is. I would also, in procedure 4, it says tell the students to listen to the story again and write down all the phrasal verbs they hear. So like I said before, we would write them down together as a class, or I'd already have them written down and we go through and repeat them together when we heard them. Yeah, so I'd change that part. Also, like I said, procedure 7 and 9, I would switch. So where they tell the story using the phrasal verbs with their partner, and then the information gap worksheet. I would switch these two, and I'd have the information gap first, and then I would have the pairs go back and verbally tell each other the story using the phrasal verbs. So other than that, I think this is a great start to an activity. I've actually used it before. I used it last semester in one of my classes as my teaching demo. I did change it, and but it has some great potential. I just feel like, like probably anything, everything can improve. All right, thank you.